Hi guys, thanks for joining Salty Reflections. We are on a beach walk right after Hurricane Idalia, and we have found some beauties already, and we hope you guys enjoy this beach walk. We have found some beautiful knob whelks, a beautiful ton shell,
which
gorgeous.
was one of our favorites right of the day.
It is one of our favorites so
we
far
hardly
today.
ever see them here. A 50 cal bullet out here, shark eye shells, tons of olives, and check out the size of this olive right here.
Very cool, gorgeous shells.
We have some sea urchins that were dead and washed up,
Calico crabs, sand dollars,
little horseshoe crab right here still intact, dead up on the beach. We found some sea sponges of different types and seaweeds. So we're going to go on down this beach with you guys and see if we can find any more treasures. We actually have spotted one right out here already. Look at here. Look at the colors of that.
Wow, that's a beauty. That is absolutely gorgeous. Who would not love that?
And we're out here on a Barrier Island beach in Beaufort, South Carolina. The tide is at its low stage right now. It is starting to come back in.
Another sand dollar here.
So most of our finds so far throughout the first part of this video where we were out here picking these up have been along the low tide area. We're going to continue to walk a little bit further down the low tide with you guys, see what we find, and then venture up to the higher tide line on the way back to our boat.
And right through this area where we're walking, I see lots of distocenia. I'm gonna walk through this as best I can, all these shells, to get this beauty here. Another gorgeous one.
If you're ever going to venture out to one of these Barrier Islands, guys, and do some shelling, and you really want to get down and dirty and get out here where the shells usually get trapped, you know, this dead Spartina area or around all the other shells, a suggestion would be to wear some shoes. I think as far as we're going to walk on this trip, I'm seeing a lot of shells in this next area right up here past this dark Spartina grass. We're going to check that out and start walking back down the beach with you guys. This is such a nice day to come out here. Look at the rays of light back behind us through the clouds and stuff.
Isn't it gorgeous? And there's a really pretty white and black striped distocenia here. Lots of the clam shells. Another one of our really common shells. And you can see all this pluff mud, which is what gives the shells in this area the colorations that they have, these dark colors. Look at this clam here, how eat up it is. Boring sponge has really done some damage on that shell. It was hungry. And look at all the treasures to look through here.
that guy laying there.
Beautiful.
And it is covered in a matrix that some people would take home and just like take a pick or something and like scrape it off. We usually leave the shells we found in their natural condition.
Big shark eye that is busted, but look how pretty it would have been. Two cute little whelks.
A perfect pair. And you can see where someone has ventured out here on some type of ATV or four-wheeler, and they almost ran over that.
Yep. Almost. Thankfully they didn't. Not that time. If you're looking at that, that's just a broken piece. Look at that angel wing.
Uh-oh. I almost broke that. Which is already broke up a little bit in
Yep.
Nice olive right there.
Those waves sound amazing.
And yesterday with the hurricane, when it passed right here in South Carolina, we had about 2 to 3 foot storm surge. We were really expecting to see a lot more shells than what we have seen today. Look at this guy right here that Stephanie has spotted.
Look there how big. Gorgeous. Wow.
Let's look at that guy right there compared to some of the other ones that we have found. The biggest one, this would have been the biggest one closest to that one. So that one there is probably our biggest olive of the day.
Very pretty.
Man, we got some treasures adding up. And yes, we have to admit it, guys. We are shell hoarders, right, Steph?
We are, to a certain extent. Some people would come out here and fill their bag with everything they could fit in it, all the stuff, but we have become a little more selective. We try to pick out some of the best ones. These knob whelks are pretty hard to turn down, so as long as they're complete, I want them. But
we've had to learn to restrict ourselves.
Just because of the lack of space.
That's right.
We don't have but so much space to keep them in our tiny house.
That's right. Let's check this one shell out that's right up here, and we'll venture up there to the high tide line and start making our way back down to the boat. This is busted up anyhow.
Oh, wow, and it would have been huge. Womp womp.
Man, that's okay. It's clouding up a little bit, and we definitely don't want to get caught out here in a thunderstorm. Hadn't looked at the radar or anything right now to see what's going on, so we're just gonna make our move back down to the boat.
Points right there in front of us.
I see some points, but it's busted. I can already see a big hole in it. You talking about right here, right, Steph?
I was, yep.
It's still, we got a mile walk, or I'm estimating a mile walk back to where we've anchored our boat.
Coral right here growing on that arc shell, but look at those points.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one, dark black.
All right, buddy, behold.
It's almost got a purple color to it, Steph, doesn't it? Like a cobalt blue almost.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful.
Wow,
gorgeous.
that has to be one of the bluest looking shells that we found out here like that.
It is pretty. Such tall points. And look at that little anomaly there where those two are kind of stuck together.
Cool. And wanted to show you guys this right here real quick. Up on the bank here. You can see that there's a stop right there. And out here is where volunteers come out here and they venture and walk the beaches and look for spots where sea turtles have came up and laid eggs, and that's one of the spots right there. And it has a 19 on it. I think that means that there was 19 eggs found there. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Got an old crab pot up there. Just all types of stuff to see when you venture out on these beaches. Little ghost crab hole, and he's down in there, but I'm sure he's not going to come out for us right now. What have you picked up here?
So I picked up another little whelk, kind of peach and orange coral colors, and a sand dollar.
And look
and
at
I
that.
see a really nice, pretty big sand dollar here.
Buried in the sand.
What
5-hole keyhole sand dollar.
It is. So pretty, pretty, pretty. And I see another interesting thing right here for Oliver to show you.
And that is actually very fragile. One of the turtle shells that the turtle is already hatched out of.
And they're kind of like a little bit of a rubbery consistency almost. So I hope he's hatched out of it.
And we hope he makes it. Or she. Right?
That's right. That way one day this big loggerhead sea turtles can come back up to here. The sea turtles come back to nest on the same beaches where they were born. So the turtle that laid that egg up on this barrier island beach could have been born here many, many, many years ago, 20 or 30 years ago, been out to sea and all around the world, and finds its way back to this particular beach to come back and have its egg.
I think that's pretty amazing.
I think so too. I think these are really amazing too, these sand dollars. So many that are up here today.
A little shark eye, a little busted up. Another sand dollar.
Yep, it is broken. It's broken on the tip
And
right
I'm
there.
seeing another here. That one's busted up a little bit too, Steph. You gonna keep it?
No,
we don't need it.
I'm gonna leave it.
Let somebody else find it. And look here, another one of the turtle egg shells. So I'm assuming that these they've hatched recently, I'm sure.
typically the eggshell would stay down in the sand, but these volunteers that walk around, like you mentioned, they actually come out, and once they see that a nest has already hatched, they will dig it up and see to make sure all the babies have hatched out of it, because occasionally a couple will get trapped. There's another there. So if they find those babies that are trapped, they will, you know, basically just record their activity and release them into the water.
That one's a little bit busted up. How about that? That's pretty.
Didn't even see this little fella. And the boring sponge has already done some work on him, creating all those little pits and holes.
With all these shells, it's easy to miss something. Steph and I are always, you know, just one of us can walk past a spot and the other one says, well, why didn't you pick this up? Well, we didn't see it.
One of the tornadoes out of the whelks.
And here's another turtle shell, turtle egg shell. Sand dollar.
And this one actually looks like it may have been injured while it was, you know, still alive, because its edges where it's chipped or
that one
smooth.
looks perfect. Finding plenty of sand dollars.
Yep. I was joking with one of our friends yesterday about how country I sound sometimes, and whenever Oliver's editing the videos, I can hear myself and I'll laugh about them and say about this sand dollar right here.
And everybody's always giving me a hard time about the way I talk, my slow southern accent.
Oh. And I do this, guys, because sand dollars are so fragile. So if I just picked it up and tried to pull it straight out of the sand without doing that little loop around it, it could break it if it weren't broken already.
Easily. Easily break it. There's a nice little whelk. Look at that stuff.
Oh, that's a pretty one. I had just picked up a little broken piece, but that makes up for it. Pretty.
I got to keep her happy. Happy wife, happy life, right, guys? Right, ladies? I got to find her some pretty shells. Bring her shelling more often. Get her out here. Let her enjoy this day. That's what it's all about. Another turtle eggshell, guys. Ladies. And another. So we've got a lot of turtles hatching here.
So I hope that's what's happened, is that they have hatched. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of critters that will dig up the nest as well. So sometimes when the volunteers, certain beaches, when the volunteers move the nest or mark the nest, they will put a netting type material either right over the ground over it, or either around the little box they build around it to mark where it is. And that will deter the critters like the raccoons and possums and things like that from digging down and eating those eggs. Because of course eggs are one of their favorite eating foods.
Look at those rays of light coming down through the clouds here. Nice. Who doesn't like a beach walk where you're finding tons of beach treasures? If you like beach walks where you're finding tons of treasures, or you like our beach walks, make sure you give us that like. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that notification bell, so that when we put up on videos that you'll get the chance to watch them. We make all sorts of videos down here in this area, and you may be interested in some of our other videos just to come along with Steph and I.
Beautiful. Loving all these gorgeous sand dollars today.
And look how this tide has come in, breached these sand dunes, and is washing it out through here, guys, ladies. So I'm assuming yesterday during the hurricane that the tide actually got up to the top of these sand dunes right here. with the 2 to 3 foot tidal surge that we had.
A couple of different things we hadn't seen yet. Got a broken piece of sea oat, which is some of that grass that you see growing right there, the tall grass, and it is not legal in South Carolina on South Carolina beaches, and probably other beaches as well, but you are not allowed to mess with the live sea oats because they do help with the erosion on our area. This piece was broken just then. I am going to stick it in our basket to keep. And this is a piece of sea whip. Most of the color's gone off of it. I'm going to leave that.
Now what are you going to do with that?
I'm probably going to put it in like one of my little arrangements that I have other shells in, because they will just dry and stay this way.
Happy wife, happy life. We got some trash here. I don't know, can we pull it up? Oh man. We could stuff it under the bottom of the cart stuff.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that we do while we're out here on these beaches, is we do pick up the trash, or what trash that we can pick up. And we challenge others always, if you're venturing out on a beach, no matter the beach, how populated it is or not, always leave with more trash than what you've come with. We just think it's the right thing to do to help the environment. If you pick up trash when you're out on the beach, make sure you know you dispose of it correctly. Carry it to a dumpster, get it off the beach. We thank you, and I'm sure there's plenty of others that love the beach that thank you also.
Wow.
Nothing goes unnoticed in the end, right guys? Right ladies?
That's right. Look at this big lob of sea pork.
Sea pork. Now, what is that sea pork actually, Steph?
It's millions of little tiny creatures that have basically lumped themselves together to form one massive floating oil. It sinks to the bottom really, but one massive organism. Got one that way and one this way. Oh wow.
Wow.
Look at all the barnacles on this back. This is what Oliver was pointing at while I was pointing at the sand dollar. And when you pick it up, so all his legs and everything has come out from the bottom already. But he is covered in little tiny teeny barnacles.
And every once in a while we will pick up one of these guys that's intact, carry it back home, and just lay it in a flower bed out in our yard.
Yeah, this fella's
Sooner or later they will
this cartilage
become
piece
unattached
here.
right here. This cartilage will just give way, and
here.
the tail. Look right here. Haha. Maybe with the best beach treasure of the day coming up right here, guys.
A piece of weed attached to that sea urchin. Very fragile.
So is this the best treasure of the day?
Our little grandkids would think so for sure.
Well, I think that's pretty cool too. Because Steph and I, you know, we're getting into where we like to go to areas. We went down to Daytona, went to a couple of the natural springs down in that area and did some snorkeling. And man, the fish and stuff that you could see in those springs. What were the name of those springs that we went to while we were there, Steph? Can you remember?
Well, we've gone to the Leon Springs. We went to Blue Springs recently. We've gone to the Green Springs and Gemini.
Which one was that we actually could swim? And it only cost like what, $6 for the whole carload of people that go in there. And
that was at Blue Springs.
And they had float rentals and stuff like that. That was really cool.
And during the winter months, the manatee come in there by the hundred, so they don't allow you to swim during the winter months. I think it's from like November to March or something like that. They don't allow you to swim. So I'm interested to go back if we get a chance, wink wink, because I would love to see all those manatees swimming in that little area as well.
We'll be making another trip, I guess.
What is that? Buried too deep?
Yes, it's definitely a big piece of metal there. Look at those tree roots, how they look.
Looks like somebody doing a split.
Yeah.
And this is what the storm does at our erosion here.
But I will go ahead and pick this up. Definitely would hate to hear of someone coming down this beach and slicing their foot on this.
Right.
Piece of broken bottle.
But this is what I was mentioning happens, and with our erosion right here is the seagrass. It gets uprooted completely from the root, and you know, of course, that's the grasses that you see up there. We had that storm come through and has taken this piece out. Starfish right there. Got a deceased starfish here. And I know it's deceased just because of how long it's been out of the water. It's been out of the water for hours. The tide is starting to come back in. Another turtle egg shell here.
And those starfish like that, we have taken them back home and just let them air dry for a period of days. And they get pretty hard, and we've used them, like glued them onto picture frames and stuff. Here's a bottle. Check this out. Pepsi bottle. Uh-oh. And guess what? Any glass bottles that you see like these nowadays, they're antiques. Yeah, even if you can remember them when you were young, these have become antique bottles. It's old Pepsi Cola bottles. See the sparrows on it? Can you see any markings on it or where it might have been made stuff?
I do see some, but I cannot tell what it says.
I can't see it very well either. You know how it is when you start getting older. The eyes start to give way. Hours in front of cell phones and computers definitely don't help the situation either.
This looks like it may have been a murex.
What?
With these ridges on it right here, and the way that it is shaped right here, but I can see these ridges.
Man, that would have been a huge one.
It would have been. Salt water. It deteriorates everything metal.
Look at that crab claw.
Looks like he's trying to grab that shell. This is one of the speckled crabs.
That's cool.
Or the speckled box crab.
And look right here, Steph. They got one of the turtle nests marked right on top of this sand dune. And with this storm we just had, it would all but you know, wash these eggs out. Hopefully they're right up under the stove and still in okay condition.
Look how black this whelk is. Look how black it is. It is broken, unfortunately, but it's just as black as your shoe.
It is. How about that? The freshwater mussels or saltwater mussels. Here I am saying freshwater. Nah.
It's always pretty to see all those birds fly by like that.
Yeah, the shorebirds, seabirds. Very, very interesting to see them. This right here would have been one of the cedar trees in our area.
Lots and lots of shell debris through here. Clams, arcs, oysters.
Yeah. And don't give us too hard a time about pulling the cart over these shells. You can see that this beach is just loaded in shells. There's no clear path to get through here, guys. And we've caught enough harsh comments in the past, right?
Right. Although there's not many beaches these days that don't allow vehicles or golf carts or ATVs or some sort of vehicle like that to drive across. So I don't think our little wagon and us walking across them is doing anywhere near the damage that those big four-wheeled vehicles can do. But some people don't like it either way. Here's a big piece of a channeled whelk. We haven't found any channeled whelks today, but this is a big skeleton, tornado part of one of them.
What's your favorite find so far out of this trip, Steph?
Definitely the ton shell.
The ton shell.
How about yours? What's
Well,
yours?
let's get a look at that ton shell one more time with them. This right here, it's a globe. It's a light actually that people hang down off their boats when they're flounder fishing and stuff. That's Steph's favorite find today, the ton shell.
So what is yours?
What's my favorite find today? We're going to take that back with us too?
Yeah, if I can get all this stuff out of it.
I can't decide what my favorite find is. I guess it would be the ton shell also. Just because that's the second one that we've ever found whole, complete. I wanted to give you guys a look in those jets going across, and that noise that you hear coming from those jets in Beaufort, South Carolina, we like to refer to that sound as the sound of freedom. This whole area right here has been breached. All of the sand dunes are gone through this whole area. That's how this hurricane has did this stretch of beach here. It would have been flowing right on across here. And eventually, with this kind of situation, this thing could actually become maybe 2 barrier islands, maybe a smaller one down on this end where we get to the sand dunes, and you know, there may end up being a gap between here eventually. Wow,
This little sand dollar is broken, but check out the size of that angel wing. That's pretty.
see the back side of it.
Gorgeous.
Nice. And that little sand dollar, it crumbled when it hit the ground. That's how fragile it is. Look here. That one's got some cool patterns in it.
Oh yeah.
Darker in color than the others that we've been finding. The other ones, you can see that they mostly are bleached out from the sun, sitting out in the sun. Right here. Might as well grab that.
Oh, look at those. They're rose-colored glasses.
Wow, they look good on you, Steph.
If I could only just see through them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Not a bad day for a summer day out on the Barrier Islands, because you know, this time of year everyone's out shelling, right?
Right.
You know, boats are coming out here left and right to these Barrier Islands. Well busted.
Check out the rays of the sun now, how they look.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Buried in the sand. Is it whole?
I believe it is. It is.
Another sea treasure. A sea treasure for Steph. What you gonna do with all these sea treasures, Steph?
Wash them up and put them somewhere.
It's been a while since you washed up some shells.
It has. We have not been shelling in quite a while.
And I know some of these ladies out here, they've been waiting on these shelling videos. They've been steady leaving me comments. Yeah, they've been wanting us to come back out shelling. Well, we brought you.
The only good thing about a hurricane.
And if you are enjoying these shelling videos or this one, make sure you give us a like.
Yep, it's the absolutely only good thing I can think about as far as a hurricane is that sometimes these big storms do produce more shells. And I'm assuming that may be why we're finding a little more, because like you said, it is summertime. These beaches during the summer are usually covered in people. And even people that aren't shellers all the time, if they find a pretty shell, of course they will keep it or take it home to their significant others that may like it.
So the first thing, you know, that we did this morning after this hurricane is we started untying our boats that we had tied down. We had a sailboat that's anchored out in the river that we had put another big anchor on, had to get that up. Got all the stuff situated around our house, you know, just all types of stuff. But guess what? None of that stuff that we do, we feel like we did it for no reason. We always want to be more prepared for those hurricanes than, you know, I guess I'm saying is it's better to be over prepared than under prepared. Would you agree?
Prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
That's all we can do.
This hurricane,
hope and pray.
We prepared pretty well, so we had prepared and moved all the things around our home that could fly or blow in the wind and create any damage or get lost or broken. So here's another big piece of a channeled whelk. Like I mentioned, we hadn't seen one yet, but that's a piece of one.
We are about a quarter of a mile from our boat now. Quarter of a mile, maybe a little closer, maybe 2/10. Look here. That's a whole one, I believe. It's beautiful angel wing. light gray in color.
Gorgeous.
How about this whelk? Does that hold? Uh-oh. Busted up. They're gonna leave it. Let somebody else come by and admire it. Oh, how about this right here?
Oh.
This kind of bruised and battered, but
A Florida fighting conch.
all the way here from Florida, on a South Carolina beach. Cool to see, right? It's cool for us.
Ooh, look at here. Oh,
Look
man.
at here.
I don't want to pick it up yet because it is actually cracked on 2 sides. So when I pick it up, it may come apart. I'm gonna try my best to do it gingerly.
And that's one of the sea urchins.
It is. So it's already lost all of its spines off of it.
This is the same thing right here. The spiny sea urchin. And like she's saying, it has lost all the spines already. I kind of like them better when they're like this.
Yes, I do too. I like them both ways.
Are you getting tore up?
I am. These,
Look at that piece of driftwood.
These dang biting flies are tearing my legs up today.
Look at that olive covered in barnacles. Wow. You barely can tell it's an olive. You want it?
I do want it. I like oddities like that.
She loves all shells, I believe. It don't matter. They can be broken or anything. One of Steph's mottos is, broken is beautiful, right, Steph?
Broken is beautiful.
We all broken in some sort of way.
But even just these shells, even if you don't take into the human aspect of that saying.
That's right.
They are beautiful.
And they can be used in decorations. The broken parts can be hidden, or they can be positioned where, hey, you can see the broken part, and that's fine with people too. How about this here new? I don't think we've seen one of these today.
Sailor's ear, channel duck clam.
Very fragile, very thin.
Here's
And
another.
there's another bigger one. Why did they call it a sailor's ear? Hold it up by your head, Steph, and let's see what it looks like in comparison to your ear. I think that would be backwards actually, wouldn't it? Maybe like
think
this.
They go like that?
I would think the point would be towards your head, but
Oh, I can't. Maybe I had it wrong.
I don't know.
And there's another.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I wasn't sure. I'm not even sure. I was holding it like.
I know
like
you were a
that.
little bit backwards.
And there's another.
But that's okay.
These are very common on our beaches. So as he pointed them out, we've picked up just several right in a very short time frame.
Ooh. Them flies was tearing me up too.
Another little skeleton of a whelk.
And how about that horseshoe crab shell? So all together right now at this point, we've been out here about 2 to 2.5 hours. Don't know exactly. And that, I'm not referring to just this video. I'm referring to a walk that we did going down the beach on the low tide section.
Look how pretty the sea oaks are.
Tall.
Swaying in the wind. Big spot of them behind you.
See how tall they are in comparison to myself. Uh-oh. Piece of a 2x6 stuff. That right there has got to be worth at least $20 this day and time. Maybe we should have picked that up. You guys, you ladies, you know how high things are getting out here. It's getting to the point that the prices of things are almost unbearable, especially for ones that are on fixed incomes. My heart truly goes out to those, and hopefully, you know, there's help coming your way, like increases in, you know, your monthly checks or whatever you get. Because I can tell in the last 5 years or so, things have gotten really bad in our area. Like the housing here has doubled. I mean, the food in the stores doubled. The vehicles, some of them seem to have tripled, right?
Ridiculous.
Like some of the new heavy duty trucks and stuff now $100,000. I mean, that is just crazy to me. So, well, everything's a constant change. I'm sure things were cheaper for my grandfather and for my dad, and it's probably going to be a lot worse on our grandkids, our kids. So prayers for the new generation that's coming behind us, right? Don't know what this world's going to be like. Constant change. Constant change is good, and it can be bad also, I would say.
Trying to get some of that muck out, the dirt. It's bleached all out on the top, but it's got a pretty orange color on the inside.
Not bad, not a bad day at all. And look at all the shore birds, the laughing gulls. They're sitting here, they're waiting on us to come back by so they can laugh at us, I'm sure. That's okay. We keep doing what we do. And if they want to laugh, that's fine with me. Oh man, our boat's getting tossed around pretty good there. It's oh, pretty high on the bank there, guys. I hope it ain't too much of a problem to get this boat out. I'm sure we'll work through it, right? I'll let Steph push it out. At least the boat's still here. That's the important thing, right? The anchor is held, and I couldn't be more happy just to see it here. You?
Yeah, I'm glad it's still here.
Because there ain't nobody here but us, guys. Everyone has left.
Yeah, there were some boats here enjoying the beach when we came originally, but they since have gone, it appears.
And you know, we do have backup in our area. We have some truly good friends that would come right out here and get us. And it's always good to have good friends. It's always good to have people you can count on when you're in need, right, Steph? When you need somebody And we appreciate those guys, and they know that they can always call on us also. Anytime that they are out on the water and they have issue, I'm someone that they can call. And Steph is the same way. You can see our boat there. It's getting kind of pounded up on the beach. The waves are pushing it in. Grab that there for me, Steph. I'm gonna get the anchor. And the boat was, you know, out this way about the length of this rope, whatever that is, 20-30 yards, and as the tides come in, it's pushed the boat around. So this may be a little challenge here. We'll work through it. We'll get it back out. So if I can get this called in here. Empty my pockets. Definitely don't want to get this right here messed up, right?
Nope, because that would be our way out of here if we needed to call somebody. Whoa. Definitely don't want the wave to crash inside the boat.
Let's get the front turn out towards the waves. If we can. He's gonna have to keep working on it. Each time a wave comes in, it's helping a little.
Probably be a little easier on him guys if I wasn't bringing you guys along, but this is what the journey is for today.
That's right. Whew. We're stuck.
This is one of the big issues about coming to these barrier islands by boats, guys, is there is not like a road where you can just park your boat. You have to park it here on the beach, and then you're at the mercy of the sand and the sea.
Waiting on the next wave. Maybe we'll have to just hold it right here as the tide comes in a little further. And get it pushed out. Be patient. It's gonna happen. You want to help me a little bit, Steph?
You want me to put this down? Or you want me to?
I think we can handle it with you pushing. Let's sit here. I always say teamwork makes the dream work. Push! We moved about a foot. Better back up to it, Steph. Come to this side, because I'm pushing over. Jump in. Motor down. We made it up. We're good. Woo. That was a battle. So thanks you guys for coming along on another video with Steph and I. We truly appreciate you coming along. We'll see you guys on the next video. Somewhere out on the waters of Beaufort, South Carolina.